What's up, beautiful people, to another episode of Ricky Jones Jr. Podcast. It's me, Ricky Jones Jr., back again for another episode, which I am excited to go ahead and get to, because this was something that I said that I would do in the transition of the Here Podcast show, in which now we are here in the month of September, kind of, sort of, halfway through, right? Or even in the beginning stages, some would say, but I'm already thinking ahead. Technically, I'm already in 2023 with ideas written in pencil, right? But nonetheless, here we are here in September saying these are some things, 5 books that I am indulging in this month. Now, starting off with, well, first, let me start off by saying, if you're new to the podcast, if you would, click that subscribe button, because you'll find everything amazing and necessary to your life as an individual, as a Christian, as a believer, as somebody that is pursuing their destiny, living in purpose, and just want to do better, okay? This here podcast is for you. So, if you're watching on YouTube, click that red button, turn it to a gray button. If you're listening to your favorite podcast platform, if you would, click whatever button they give you the option to do, so that you can lash on to link up with this here podcast. So, nonetheless, let's go ahead and start with the first one, which I was even hesitant on showing this one, because it was one that I didn't read all the way through. I started it, but then I didn't finish it, so you know how it goes. It's like, man, you don't want to talk to people about your failures, but here we are, open and honest, transparent. Here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, the first one is called Maximum Achievement, okay? And this one is written by Brian Tracy. I came across Brian Tracy this year and was just loving the different talks that I heard and things that he was saying. And I was like, man, let me find out more about him and the content that he has, and which led me to some books. And so this was actually one of them, with the idea that this year, talking to God, I was like, hey man, what's the theme for this year for my family? What is something that we can focus on? And the word for the year was and is achievement for 2022. So anything that had to do with achievement, I was either listening to, reading about, finding more information on, and in this case, purchasing the book to go ahead and read it made Maximum Achievement, right? And so the subtitle is Strategies and Skills That Will Unlock Your Hidden Powers to Succeed. Who doesn't want that? Okay? And I was like, man, this is cool. So I started reading it, and I don't even know what chapter I ended up getting to. What is this? Chapter 3. Which it is a great book. It just happened to be, it just didn't resonate with me at the time. I set it aside and said to myself, maybe one day later it will resonate with me, and then I know where it is. I'll be able to pick it up and probably start over from the beginning, because I may not have the content still in mind that I already read. And so, I know where it is. But not only did I pick up this book when I was on my Brian Tracy journey, but I also picked up, so I say all that to say, cool book, nice read. Just know whether or not it's for you. It's very scientific. And when I say scientific, it talks about success, it talks about the mentals, it talks about self-concepts, and the mental law of equivalency, which is a very cool concept. The law of correspondence, it talks about the law of cause and effect, the law of attraction. It's very light. It doesn't go into deep depth detail like The Secret does. But nonetheless, very cool book, very scientific. And it just wasn't resonating. I wasn't able to click with it, and so put it to the side, right? But this is a book that I was reading, right? Whew, okay, so now we can get into the stuff that I'm actually using and I'm sticking with thus far, which the next one, the current read that I'm reading, is Eat the Frog, which is written by Mr. Brian Tracy. Great book. I understand why. So here it says this is an international bestseller, more than 1.6 million copies sold, which I understand, right? The subtitle is 21 Great Ways to Stop Procrastinating and Get More Done in Less Time, which, in reading this book, I am in and on chapter 6 so far. Phenomenal read. Already, I'm like, whoa, I've been doing some things right, some things wrong. And I just love it. I love it. The whole gist and concept behind it is to eliminate doing small mundane things and do the things that really matter to allow for you to be successful and to have a successful day. And so, of course, Eat the Frog has to do with, hey, do and eat, well, eat the frog is translated to doing the ugliest, the hardest, the biggest things that are necessary to allow for you to have a productive, successful day, right? And so that's what essentially it's all about. However, it's giving like different practical ways to go about it. So it may be writing things down, it may be writing a goal down and seeing what things that you need to do to accomplish that goal. And then once you write those things down, then you eliminate the things that you after assess, realizing that, man, like this isn't gonna get me to that goal. Like eliminate those things so that you'll inevitably end up with the most important things that you should do, and then you do the hardest thing first. Makes life goes on better, right? So essentially, great read. I actually threw it up on my Instagram, letting people know that I was reading this book, offering for others to join me in the reading of it, and then being able to talk about it. But nonetheless, boom, good read. If you choose to read any of these books that I put up, definitely let me know, and we'll see about reading together, right? The third book I want to throw up, which is always going to be a book each and every month, which I probably do these like once a month, is to talk about what I'm reading about, is the great Bible, right? The Bible that never runs dry, never runs out of style, always has information and things for us to be able to learn from, glean from, and apply to our lives. My particular version that I love to read the most is the NLT, New Living Translation, because it's very practical to the English language, translates very well from what was the Greek, the Hebrew, and the Aramaic to English or whatever language that you speak, but mine being English, it translates very well, very understandable and applicable upon reading, and so I enjoy it. And which, more importantly, what am I reading? So currently I'm about to dive into the Gospels again, which are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, so that I can read and learn from the example that Jesus Christ walked, lived, and left as a roadmap for people to walk in humility. So that is why I'm going to be tapping in, which I'm fresh off of a men's conference. That was part of what we talked about. Oh, that was all about on Sunday. And so I want to read about that, knowing that it's going to unleash some things in life. So humility is definitely what I'm tapping into. So boom. That's the third thing, but it's always going to be a thing. It's just a matter of what it is that I'm reading about at the time within the Bible that I'll probably be sharing. The fourth one, losing track already, just pure excitement in what I am reading. It's this here journal. It's the Purpose Activation Journal. In which I'll put links to all these bad boys from Amazon on the bottom of this here video. In which this journal is a 6-month journal. I started to pinpoint how I wanted to map out my life. I wanted to map out my life from September to February, and then from March to August, just looking at life in those cycles, right? And so with that being said, what I'm now doing is assessing how I live life in September, documenting different things that I want to do the next day, also recording things that I actually do accomplish, which it gives you a schedule of days, from 6 o'clock down to 9 o'clock, because that's when people usually are active and at it. If not, you should be. But nonetheless, then it also has goals that I have for the day, notes that may help me to realize why certain things did not take place, why certain things did take place, different things that I may need to adjust in the next day, and the list goes on. And then I have tasks as well of things that I need to do. So it's been a great exercise that I've been doing, but not necessarily in a specific spot. But now I have a record of what I plan to do, what I have done, and different things that I want to get accomplished for a time period and a time span, right? And that was even one of the things that was talked about in Eat the Frog, is a lot of people don't have successful days because they don't know what they're supposed to be doing that day. Like, how can you hit a goal? How can you say that you're successful in a given day if you did not even know what you were supposed to be doing, or what measure of success are you measuring yourself to? Which oftentimes people measure themselves to other people, which then gives them a false sense of success, or leads them into depression because they can't level up or surmount to or compare to those in which they compare themselves to. So anyway, all that to say, see how one thing can just lead to another. Nonetheless, this journal has been very helpful, very, 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 very helpful for me and to me, as it just keeps me focused. It keeps me locked into the things that matter, but then also preparing for the things to come, which if you know what you're looking to do, let's say in November, right? I'm looking to do X, Y, and Z, 1, 2, 3. I know what's necessary today to prepare me for that day. But then not only do I know that, but then I also know what things I should not be doing today that will prohibit a successful November 5th scenario, right? And so, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. But nonetheless, this is a journal that helps me. But nonetheless, I even love the subtitle, From Purpose Filled to Purposeful. And that's not only life, but that's the day, that's the journey, that's the purpose of each and every day. Every day has purpose within it. So it's filled with purpose. So why not plan so that your day is purposeful, right? And so, a little double entendre to life and the day. And like I said, it'll be on Amazon. So last but not least, the 5th book that I am endeavoring in is my other journal, What Is He to You Today? This is a 60-day devotional of clarity, right? Endeavoring to strengthen your relationship with God, talk to God, share things that you have with Him, but then also being in a place of being able to receive. Like, not only is it about talking to God, but it's also about hearing from God and hearing the things that God would have for you to do, things that He would have for you to know, and things that He would have for you to prepare for. So, as I talked about it before, I'm sure it's like a 5-part journal where, on one hand, you share what is God to you today. Each and every day, God has been something to you, something for you. You've needed Him in a way, or He's shown Himself to you in a particular way. Write those things down. Why is that important? Because as you endeavor through life, you'll go through ups and downs, highs and lows, and you'll be able to look back in this journal to realize, man, on X day, I needed money or I needed food. And God showed Himself to be loving to me and gracious to me because somebody said, hey, let me buy you some food, or somebody randomly sent over some money in a Cash App, or the list goes on, right? However, it's just great to remind yourself, document when God showed Himself to be who God is, which we know God is all things necessary for us as believers and His children. So, all that being said, there's that part, and then there's the aspect of what are things that you desire? Why? Because we all have desires, and it's okay. He's a great Father, and to our Father, we should be able to share our desires and wants with. And then it's like, man, what has God asked of me today? What has He requested? Because God speaks to His children. As the Bible says, my people hear my voice, and the voice of a stranger they will not follow. Well, it's there letting us know that as people, as children of God, we get to hear His voice. So He's going to talk to us about things. And then it just ends with a opening up of us, the writer, the person partaking in the journal, to be able to then write down what God is saying to them. I mean, it's 4 steps, and I'm leaving off the 4th step intentionally because I definitely want you to get the journal and dive into it for yourself. But the 4th step is the step that awakens you, to unlocks your mind, to get your heart prepared to hear from God. So all that being said, I do write in this. I endeavor to write in this every day in the evening, right? So the evening of a given day, I write in this journal. The journal before, Purpose Activation Journal, I write in that one the night before a particular day, and even a month ahead, and the list goes on. So that's just kind of how I'm able to do both, right? Some people be like, man, I don't have time to journal all that and things like that. No, you do. You just do other things with the time that you could use to do the things that will prepare you for the things to come. So, and with all that being said, great people, those are the 5 books, technically 4 books, that I am endeavoring in this month, that I definitely recommend you to do the same, so that we can just propel and progress in life as we desire, right? And I believe these are tools that are going to help you do so. So, hey, check in, lock in, and let me know what things are you reading this month that others could as well, that will help them in their life and doing better in the things that they have going on. So, with those things being said, great people, let's learn from each other. Let's grow together. Let's do better together. Let's pursue purpose. Let's live out our destiny, and let's just have a good day each and every day, okay? I believe that's good. All right, great people. Until next time, love you all. Peace.